Alrighty. Welcome to the Islamic House of Israel. I am Mr. Malmadh, and today's topic is gonna be polygyny, marriage, right hand possess, myth of four wives, and answers to your relationship problems. All right. Salam alaikum, everyone. Salam alaikum, Nur Jihan. How's it going?
Walaikum salam. Going pretty good. Alhamdulillah. Happy Sabbath.
Happy Sabbath to everyone. I hope everybody's having a good Sabbath. Um, So this is gonna be this is gonna be pretty interesting. I got a PowerPoint for this one. Um, really, it was so much information. That's why I'm kind of starting late because it was so much information, man. It's like this is gonna be a part two and a part. I'm gonna need a part two, to part three. It was just a lot of things to talk about. Um, so I know everyone's excited about this polygyny thing. So we're gonna learn about polygyny a little bit. We're gonna learn today. We're gonna know what a right hand possess is. We're gonna the first thing we're gonna talk about is the four wives. In Islam, they say a man can only have four wives. Is that a myth? Is that the truth? Is that Quranic? Where did it come from? Is it true? Is it false? We're gonna learn that, and we're gonna learn much more. All right. So let's get started. And any questions? Put them in the chat. All right. Salam, everyone. Let me give the salams. All right, let's do it. Let me share my screen. All right. Can everybody see the screen?
Yes.
All right, polygyny, marriage, right hand possess, method of four wives, answer to the problems. Let's do it. All right, Quran 425. I think it's 425. No, it's not 425. I forgot to change that out. But it's in chapter 4. The woman. It is a myth that a man can have only four wives. It's a Sunni myth, and I'm gonna explain this to you. So hang on. All right, I need you read this for me. Nurji, huh?
All right.
Everybody read Quran 4:2, not 425, 4:2.
All right. So Quran 4:2. Give unto orphans their wealth, exchange not the good for the bad, nor absorb their wealth into your own wealth. Lo, that would be a great sin.
All right, y'all. What is the subject? What is this ayat, Quran 4:2, talking about? What is the subject?
Orphans.
The subject is orphans. Now, does the subject have anything to do with marrying orphans? Yes or no?
No, it's talking about their wealth.
All right. What is an orphan? Orphan is somebody that parents have died. All right. An orphan can be you can have a nephew or a niece, and both of their parents died, and their parents left them money, and you're over their money. All right. So you're over their wealth. When they turn 18, you give them their money. All right. This is telling you don't take their money and put it and mix it in with your money. All right. Don't exchange your money. They're good stuff for the bad stuff. If they left a new car, you don't take the new car and give them your old car. All right. Let's move on. 4:3. Let's read it. Read that for me.
And if ye fear that ye will not deal fairly by the orphans, marry of the women who seem good to you, two or three or four. And if ye fear that ye cannot do justice, than one, or that your right hand possess.
Captive is not in the Arabic. Go ahead.
Thus it is more likely that ye will not do injustice.
Now, hold on for a second. Right here, this is where they get you only can marry 4 wives, up to 4 wives, right? But this is talking about if you have orphans, if you fear doing injustice to who?
The orphans.
The orphans,
Mm-hmm.
not your wives. If I have orphans, I have my
Mm-hmm.
nephews, nieces, and all that stuff, they all with me, and I got money for them, and
Mm-hmm.
I got 20 wives, and I'm like, man, shoot, we're man, we broke right now, man. I need to go in the orphan's bank account and get some of that money out and go. Me and my wives, we're gonna go on the trip
Mm-hmm.
with the orphan's money.
Mm-hmm.
So the scriptures is saying, if you fear that you can't do right by the orphans, if you're gonna dip into their money, then cut down on your wives. If you fear that you can't do justice to the orphans, then you need to have one. Because it's a penalty if you do wrong by the orphans. What is the penalty? Quran 4:10. Read it.
Indeed, those who devour the property of orphans unjustly are only consuming into their bellies fire, and they will be burned in a blaze.
So it's better to cut down on your wives than to go to hell messing over the orphans.
Right,
If
and then
you mess
saying
over the orphans, you're going to hell.
right, because even like when we look at back, I'm just going back to Quran 4:3. It's saying, hey, if do two, three, or four, but if you still feel you can't do justice, then just one. And if you still don't think you can do
Right,
justice, then your right hand possesses.
right, right,
Thus, it is more likely that you will not do injustice.
right, right. There are some people, and I have seen it. They eat, man. Auntie eat up the money.
Yep.
Auntie, grandma eat up that money, and and then that orphan grows up and have nothing, and that orphan go to the streets,
Yep.
and it ruins the orphan's life. And the orphans got to sell drugs, sell their body. It ruins their lives when you take their money.
That's right.
That's why you go to hell for that. This is not talking about a limited amount of wives, because David had 8 wives.
Right.
Solomon, all them, a lot of people. Gideon had what? A lot of I don't forgot the number, but he had like 100 kids.
Even
Right?
even 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 Rasulullah
We go
son.
we go get into that. Hold on, we go get into that. You
Right.
must say, I feel you. We gonna get into that. I got something for it. Hold on. Now,
Mm-hmm.
this is not talking about justice, being just and fair with wives. You know why? You know why? Look at this. Look at this one. Look at this. Because you can't be. Really. Read it. Read
It
it.
says you are never able to be fair and just as between women,
Pause it.
even
Whoa, whoa, slow down, slow down.
uh,
You're never able to be fair and just, but right here it tells you to be fair and just. So it's not talking about women, correct?
right.
It's talking
Because
about
it's,
orphans.
it's, it's not going to contradict itself. That's the
Right.
Quran is not going to do that.
Right. So this is talking about justice for the orphans.
Mm-hmm.
This said that you can't be. It's impossible. You can't be equal.
Mm,
They're different people. You can't be equal.
mm,
You marry them at different times.
mm,
If you married a woman for 30 years and then you got a new woman coming in, they're not going to be equal. She's been with
mm,
you for 30 years. How you going to be equal? That's impossible.
mm,
Even if they are an hour apart, you can't be equal.
mm.
Let's read that. I'm sorry for interrupting you. So this is not talking about women, and there is no limit of 4 wives. That's a lie. Keep
Mm.
going. I'm going to show you that's a lie. Keep going.
Says you are never able to be fair and just as between women, even if it is your ardent desire, but
Right.
turn not away altogether so as to leave her hanging. If you come to a friendly understanding and practice self-restraint, Allah is oft forgiving, most merciful.
In other translations, it says patience, practice patience. Now, when you can't be fair, okay? When I say fair, you can't be like, okay, you're gonna spend 6 hours here and 6 hours there. If you fall asleep for 2 minutes, that's unfair. You're already unfair. I'm gonna be you're gonna have your clock, and you go be like, ding, 6 minutes, and then go not 6 minutes, 6 hours, ding, and then go over there. If something happened and you get a flat tire, you have been unjust. It's not fair. All right. That's kind of no, that's kind of what's like on the basement thing. The basement thing, like something, you know, I ain't gonna go into it, but something can happen, and it's like, you know, my day is messed up. You know what I'm saying? A tragedy can happen. So can't be just and fair with women. I should say, but I'm sorry. I did this quick. I'm sorry. But it is demanded to be fair. It should say, but it's demanded to be fair and just with orphans. So you can be fair and just with orphans. All you got to do is leave their stuff alone. Leave it alone. Don't touch it. Got it?
That's right.
Now, if 4 wives is a rule, Uthman had how many wives?
9.
Uthman is a companion of the prophet. He did not follow the 4 wives rule. He had 9 wives. I thought we supposed to be following the companions, what they call the Sahaba, but they did not follow the four wives things. and they married. The Uthman married sisters. Look at that. Bint mean daughter of Muhammad. Bint, daughter of Muhammad. Those are 2 sisters. Bint. He married 2 sets of sisters. Maybe I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he married them before the ayat came down.
Yeah, he probably did before the ayat came
down. I'll give him that. But we're not supposed to follow that example right there, because the Most High already said not do it. So that's not a good example to marry 2 sisters. You're not supposed to marry 2 sisters. All right. So Uthman had 9 wives. He did not have 4 wives. Next. Who's next? Umar. Umar had 7 wives. He didn't have 4 either. These are companions of the prophet. They did not follow that rule. He had 7 wives. Let's just say Ali. I'm sorry. It's Ali. Ali. Take away the L. I'm human. You see that? Next. Ali had 8 wives. He didn't follow the rule either. He didn't have 4. He had 8. The only one that followed the rule of the 4 wives, the Sunnis, I don't know where they got it from. You can only have 4 wives. I don't know where they got it from. That's not in the Quran. Now, I don't even speak Arabic, and I figured that out, right? That's crazy. That shows you that it's the spirit, the ruach, not to 100% Arabic. If Allah want to tell you something, He could tell you in any language on the planet.
That's right.
Abu Bakr is the only one that followed the rule. He had 4 wives. He's the only one that followed the rule. Maybe that's where we got it from. Him. He's the only one to follow that rule. Bless his heart. He must have had orphans, right? He must have had some orphans, right? He must have feared that he was going to do wrong by the orphans. So he cut down his wife. So having 4, 3, 2, 1 back in those days, that was a small amount. If you had 1 or 2 wives, that was little. That's little man. According to the Quran, 4, 3, 2, 1 is like cutting down on your wives. That's little wives. Muhammad, peace be upon him. How many is that? What? I think we got 13? I'm not really counting Khadijah because he wasn't a polygamist with Khadijah. So it's about 12, according to this. It might be more, but it's 12. That's more than 4. All right. Any questions so far? Am I making any sense? I can't see the chat, so I'm sorry. I can't see the chat. You see anything in the chat? Nor can you see the chat?
Yeah, you're making sense. Mr. Rashid said, were they all at one time?
Were all the wives that they had at one time? I think I don't. Oh, he mean like if something if they die?
Or yeah, I guess he's saying if they died or if they got a divorce. Is that what you're saying, Mr. Rashid?
That's a good question. Very good question. Very good question. I'll find out. I gotta look that up. Good question. All right, think about it. No, it should say one. I'm sorry. No one obeyed the Sunni's interpretation of the numbers of wives except Abu Bakr.
Mm.
All right, let's move on. Next thing we're gonna talk about the right hand possess. What is right hand possess? We know handmade, right hand possess.
Brother,
We're gonna learn. We're gonna learn. Is it a such thing as a right hand possess in America? All right, right hand possess. A right hand possess is a person, and it can be a man, and it can be a female. But in the context of the Quran, it talks about like females, like marrying them and stuff like that. But it can be a male. During the time the Quran was revealed, everybody was under the feudalism, a feudal system, the medieval feudal system, where you deal with land, you deal the night. Well, they didn't. I mean, I'm not saying the Quran. I'm talking about feudal system. This Japanese had a feudal system as well, but they call them samurais and things like that. In Europe, it was like the knights. You had your nobles, but everything was based off land ownership. Usually, the king or the chief owned the land, and then he had nobles. He gave out the land to the nobles, and you had your peasants, and you had your serfs that was connected to the land, and the serfs could not travel. So most of the world was under. I'm not saying it was under European feudalism, but was under a feudalist tribal system. Even in Africa, there's a lot of Africa is like under a feudal system. A lot of the tribe, the chief owns all the land. You got to go to the chief and talk to him about the land. So now, since we understand when the Quran came down, what type of system they were under, even in the Bible is like it has a feudal system. It has like a tribal slash feudalism system. America, America is under capitalism and is under a fake type of system. So it's really hard to translate it over to America because America is different. We just print out money and stuff like that. All right. Let me give you an example, and I'm gonna move on. A lot of the women that's like on hardcore welfare, all right, under under a real system, feudalism is the real system. They would be handmaids. They would come to people's house and clean it up. All right. But now they don't do that because they have the government propping them up. All right. Some people will be on the streets if they didn't have the government propping them up. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying anything like that. All right. So the government's propping them up. Therefore, they're really not considered right hand possessed because the government's propping them up. But if this system like falls, they will have a lot of poor people, and people knock on your door and be like, "Hey, can I stay with you?" So it's hard to gauge it. If you go to I've been to Africa before. You go to Africa, you will understand. Okay, I understand what right hand possess means. Some people will knock on your door and say, "Hey, I want to be your servant." Straight up, you have 5 people knocking on your door, say, "Hey, man, I clean up your yard." I mean, they like you're their survival. You have possession over them. So right hand possess. Right hand possess have owners. It's not just slaves. A homeless woman or a man can be right hand possessed. Sharecropping family. During the time we were sharecropping, we were right hand possessed. Women that's in the prison. If you want to right hand possess, go to the prison. Go to the prison, say, "Hey, you can stay with me." An orphan that turns 18 and is like homeless. Indentured servant under a contract is right hand possessed. Serfs, they can't leave the land. Being in poverty, according to the Quran, means you can't travel freely. All right. That's a person that's in poverty, that they are unable to travel freely. That's the person that's in poverty. All right. So you have the right hand possessed, you have power over them. If I ride down the road and there's a homeless woman on the street, I can say, hey, I want you to come and be my maid. If she don't have me, she's homeless. I'm not, and you, but in the Quran says you can marry them. You can marry them. It didn't say to rape them. It says marry them. All right. That's what a right hand position.
Brother Malmadh,
Go ahead.
got a question for you.
Talk to me.
Does the term right hand possession and concubine intertwine? Are they the same thing?
That's a good question. I would say, I would say no, but I don't want to go too far with that. I would say no, because right hand possessed, that doesn't, when you have a right hand possessed, that doesn't, you can't have sex with her. You got to marry her. It's not. You got. It says in the Quran you can marry of your right hand possessed.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay.
Now let me show you. Let me show you what I'm talking about right here. Things that can make a person a right hand possessed: drought, bankruptcy, a disaster, refugees from a war, some type of misfortune. All right. So let's say I own 100 acres of land. This is feudalism. I own 100 acres of land. I'm the chief. I own 100 acres of land. All right. The family next door, they have a season and they have a drought and they have no food. And then they come over and say, "Hey man, we're starving. I'll work for you." They come and they're my right hand possessed. I have power over them. Allah made it where I got power over them because of a certain disaster, a certain destitution. Allah gave me power over them. They fight a war. There's refuge. I don't even have to be in the war. It could be a war next door, and there's refugees coming in, and they broke, they jacked up, and it's women. And okay, y'all, I got 100 acres. I want y'all to work my field, and y'all can live over there sharecropping. Y'all can live. I'll give you this little building right here. Y'all can live in, and you sharecrop. Now, if I see one of the women, I can marry them because they're cheaper. It says if you don't want, what did that scripture say? If you can't afford free believing women, then marry of your right hand possessed. So they're broke, they're poor, they're sharecropping. I could pick one of those women out. I'm over her, and I can marry her, and now she's a wife. She has moved up the ladder. So it's not just about little slave girl. No, it's broader. Right hand possessed is broader than that. It's not just a slave. It's not just fighting a war. No, it could be anything. It could be drought. It could be disaster. It could be tornado. All right. It's hard to understand that in America because America got so many safety nets.
Well, when you said sharecropping, I mean, I think that makes sense for Americans. We had in the United States, we had that as a system, sharecropping.
Yes, we went from slave to sharecropping. Slave to sharecropping. We went from chattel slavery, to right hand possessed. Right hand possessed is a notch above it. All right. All right. So, yeah, I hope that makes sense. And there's other things can cause right hand possessed. Other things can cause that. But if I got 1,000 people come over here, like and you can go to Genesis, and there's stories how Abraham received a bunch of right hand possessed. The Most High gave him servant. He had so many servants. I don't know if it was disasters. I don't know if they were coming from Sodom and Gomorrah. I don't know what, but Allah gave him so many right hand possessed. That doesn't mean he had a bunch of women. No, if he wanted to marry them, it's cheaper. than marrying a free, believing woman. All right, it was cheaper. I gotta find that verse. Where's that verse? I gotta find the verse. Give me a second. I'm sorry. There we go. That's the verse. Could you read that top verse for me? If you're there, Noor, Jihan.
Yeah.
You're not there?
Yes, I'm here. Give me one second.
All right, so now we're looking at it.
And whoever among you cannot find the means to marry free, believing women.
Pause it. Free, believing women. You ain't got the money to marry no free, believing woman. Then what?
Then marry from those whom your right hand possess of believing slave girls.
Now, that word slave girls, that might not be in there. Slave is not in there. I don't think it's in there. As slave, I think it's like servant.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. But slave servant is not, what I'm saying is not chattel slavery.
Right.
It's like a servitude type thing. All right.
And a
All
lot.
right, so it said to do what with them? Did it say to rape them?
It says to marry them.
Right. Because you have ownership of them. Or you can go, if somebody else got a right hand possess, you can go to them and marry. Like if I'm broke and Noor Jihan, you got been blessed with 30, 40 right hand possess. I could go to you and say, hey, can I marry one of you? Because it's cheaper. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, keep going. And keep going.
All right. And Allah is most knowing about your faith. You are of one another, so marry them with the permission of their people and give them their due compensation according to what is acceptable.
Right. Look at that. So, Noor, you got all these right hand possess. I come to you. I say, hey, I see her. You know, I know she is working for you. There was a drought over to the side. There was a drought, a refugee, and you taking care of them. And you know, I'm going to you. You're there. You're the owner. I'm asking permission from you, and I got to give compensation. But it's cheaper. All right, now, so it ain't no this raping and all this stuff. No, it ain't no raping and pillaging. Now, I'm gonna come back to this. Let's talk about, are women or men in America right hand possessed? The American government, it tries to prevent this from happening. Some women and men should be right hand possessed, but the government props, you know, and the economy, it props it up. Now, if this place fall down, you have a lot of right hand possessed running around here. We do have homeless. All right. So, what is a free believing woman? What is a free believing woman? Independent women. They might own their own business. They might have a job. Women under the shelter of their free family. Their family is free. When I say free, I mean they're not in poverty. They're free. Women that's upheld by the state, they are free. All right, the state, they're not under your power. They're under the state's power. All right, so U.S. is the land, supposed to be the land of the free. Okay, the free. Other places you have a lot of right hands possessed, and but we have, you know, homeless people and stuff like that. I hope this is making sense. Am I making sense, Noah?
Yes, I mean even the homeless are free because they're not under anybody. They can come and go as they please. They can live under a box if they so desire.
Oh no, slow down. You kind of but what will make them right hand possessed? Something got to happen. They refuse to be right hand possessed, huh?
Right, they refuse because if they wanted to be right hand possessed, they would go up to a wealthy person or a regular person and with their signs and say, hey man, look, I'll come and work for you. if you give me room and board and shelter. In
Right.
exchange for room, board, and shelter,
Right.
I'll work for you.
Right.
And then at that point,
I'll sell myself to you
my
as a
yeah,
servant.
my services to you. So in essence, that they would be a handmaiden, or I don't know what the
Right.
man would be called, but that's what
I
they would
forgot.
be.
They there a name for the man, but I forgot.
Right. That's what they would be.
Right. That's right. So yeah, so I guess you're right. The homeless refused. Or the government did the government abolish right hand possess? It might
No,
be a bad thing.
no, yeah, it didn't abolish it. It just provided other resources for people, so that they wouldn't have to do that. They could choose to just be supported, with aid, or they can just choose to live in the box
Wow, that's
and
deep.
and take handouts.
That's deep. My great no no my granddad, he was a right hand possessed. The family, his wife, family, right hand possessed. He was on the lived on the white, but he didn't have to be. His family actually had land and stuff, but he was right hand possessed because he wanted. I guess he wanted to be my grandma. But that's a whole nother thing. Um, yeah, a lot of our families were sharecroppers. Now, if you're right hand possessed and you're married, the owner can't come in there and just have sex with your wife. No, or your little children and nothing like that. No.
Now, let me ask you this question.
Go ahead.
Now, in Torah, the right hand possesseth. If the owner of the right hand possesseth, they have to give permission for them to get married.
Yeah, but they came in it as a family. They came in it as a family.
They or they
They didn't. He didn't. The white man did not give my grandmother to my granddad.
No, I'm not talking about your family. I'm just
Yeah.
talking in general. Not about your family, just in general.
Say the question again.
Yeah, I was just saying. Now, I'm not talking about your family. I'm
I
just
know. I
talking
said say
about
the
Torah.
question. I understand. I understand. Say the
Yeah,
question.
so in Torah law, like when you have a husband and a wife situation, the owner of the right hand possessor, they have to get permission to get married.
Yes, you have to get permission because, like, if you are, let's say you are an indentured servant and you're under a contract, you have a 7-year contract or something like that. You got to negotiate it with the owner. Like, you can't just like get married and just leave and it has to be negotiated. You have to get permission. Even in feudalism in Europe, the peasants and the serfs, they had to get permission to get married. So yes.
And then you can agree you can sign up to be a right hand possessor for life. Oh, correct.
Yes, you can. You yeah. If you know, like, man, like I can't hang, like if you just came out of prison, I can't function out of this mug, man. I want to stay with you forever. Ibrahim probably had a lot of that. He probably had a lot of people that didn't he have that one servant that went out and got a wife for Isaac?
Right.
Yeah. And he was the son of her handmaid, of his handmaid. He was the son of a handmaid. And that doesn't mean Abraham had sex with a handmaid. No. No, it ain't all like that. You marry them. It ain't all like that. You know.
Right. So
You be listening to them, brother. Go ahead.
say for example, when we look at Hagar, um she
Right.
was a right hand possessive, and Sarah said, told Abraham, peace be upon him, to lay with my handmaiden.
Right.
In essence, at that point, he married Hagar. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Because marriage would facilitate that union when a man and a woman lay with each other.
We got you got to give gifts. If gifts is not given, then it's not lawful. You got to seek her out with gifts. That's what the Quran say. Yeah, but basically, yeah.
Okay.
All right. All right. So, all right, let's move on. All right. So, what should men look for in women? Pay attention. And this is gonna be, it's both sides. What should men look for in women? And women, what should you be? What should you change into? All right, read that 426. Read the bottom one. We already read the top one. Read the bottom.
It says they should be chaste, neither of those who commit unlawful intercourse randomly, nor those who take lovers.
Pause for
But
a second. This is talking about right hand possess. So the right hand possess, you gotta check her out. Keep going.
but once they are sheltered in marriage,
Pause
if
it.
they
Marriage is a shelter. Women, what marriage is shelter. If you ain't under the shelter, you might get got by some of these jokers out here. It's a shelter. Keep going.
if they should commit adultery, then for them is half the punishment for free uh
It shouldn't. I
women.
don't know. It should not say unmarried, but it says
This
free women. Because how is it unmarried and it's adultery? Like, yeah, that came from the translation. That's not it. Go ahead.
this is for him among you who fears sin. But to be patient is better for you, and Allah is forgiving and merciful.
That's what I was looking for right there. Who fears sin? All right. So sin. It's a lot of sin. Now let me show you where the sin comes in at. All right. I'm gonna show you where the sin comes in at. Give me a second. Hold on. Hold on. And we're gonna look at this for a minute. All right. So we're gonna talk about what chaste really means. Because a lot of people don't know what that really means. We're going to talk about those who commit unlawful intercourse randomly. We're going to learn what that really is. And we're going to learn those who take lovers. We're going to learn the why. I know we're taught that it's just ill, icky, sex, icky. We're gonna learn why the Most High says this. All right. It affects our relationship. It stalls our relationships. It destroys our long-term relationships. We're gonna get into it. All right. Chastity. Let me get my notes. Chastity. Hold on. I guess that's it. Yeah. All right. That's weird. That's weird. Give me 1 second, y'all. That's weird. All right. So chastity, long-term celibacy. That's what chastity is. To be chaste is celibacy. All right. Unlawful sexual intercourse. What is that? That is like, for example, sex with animals, sex with your uncles, your brothers, with minors, etc. That's zina. All of that is zina. You don't want a woman that has sex with a dog, all right, etc. Taking lovers, many boyfriends, history of a lot of sexual partners, and I'm gonna teach you how. If you did all of this, I don't know about the animal part, all right, or the uncles or the minors. I don't know if I can fix that, all right. But the lover thing is a way to fix that, I think. All right. A lot of partners, a lot of lovers. All right, let's talk about it. Why are the relationships not working? All right. Let's talk about being chaste. All right. Let's talk about it. You with me, Noah?
Yes.
All right. The two issues that we have that will correct our relationships for men is power. We need power. For women, it is virginity. virginity and being chaste. All right. So let's talk about the womb. The man that opens your womb, when he opened your womb, symbolically, that womb belongs to him. Symbolically, that whether you like it or not, the womb belongs to him. Chemically, psychologically, it belongs to him. Now, if you get with a man on Monday and he opens the womb, then on Friday you get with another man and you pretend you love that second man and he goes into the womb, psychologically, the second man, you're going to treat him like a robber. You're going to treat him very disrespectful because he is not his womb. But the first man that opened up the womb and it say something and it don't work out, the first man that opened up the womb and it does not work out, whether you're a virgin or not, you have to be chaste. You have to be celibate for a long time to let it close up again. If you don't, and you let another man come in, if you don't be chaste, celibacy, chaste does not mean you're a virgin. If you don't stop for a long period of time, it could be a year, it could be 2 years, it could be 3 years. The longer the better. Your body will change back up. When you have sex again, it will feel a little painful, and that's good. All right, that's good. That's a positive. Then another man can open it up. Then it belongs to him. But if you don't go through that time of celibacy and let another man come in, then you psychologically, you might think you're in love with this dude. You might, oh, I love this dude, but you're not going to treat it right because he don't own the womb. He don't really own the womb. All right. The best woman, according to the scriptures, the number one woman, according to both of the Quran and the earlier scriptures, is a believing virgin. Believing virgin. Next is going to be a believing chaste woman. It's like a born again virgin. And everybody can be that. I don't care if you a hoe in the street. You stop for a year. I would say even years. And your body will recalculate. It will recalculate. That's how it goes. But if you're not chaste, nah, you go cuss that joker out, you go fuss him out because he ain't on that womb. It ain't his. It's not his. Some women, some women are in love with other dudes. They might not even know it. They're in love with their body is in love with another dude, and they go and they can have a baby by another dude and even marry another dude while the womb belongs to another dude, the first dude, and that causes a bunch of chaos. And it ends in divorce. It don't work out. Open another womb. The man opened the womb, it belongs to him. She gets another guy before it has closed it up too soon. Celibacy closes it back up, recalculates. So-called born again virgin. All right, to correct the problem with our women is going to be chastity, being chaste. That's what's going to correct the problem with the women. Now the men, I'm talking about the women. Now the men, we need to get some power. We need to get some land and power, okay? But the women, we got to bring back the virginity rights like we had in the scriptures. And that's not going to start with us because we old, right? That's going to start with the young ones. For fathers that got daughters, you got to make a pact with your daughter. You got to make a pact with her. All right? You got to make a pact with her. You got to know what's going on. All right. I don't know, what did I put? I put what is love. Hold on. I had something for that. I don't forget what I had for that. I'm sorry. All right. So, oh yeah, here we go. I know what I was saying. How do you know a woman is in love with you? And this happens to every virgin. And the women out there know what I'm talking about. You know that she loves you when she takes all of your crap, all of your bad, all of your crap. She takes it. I know that sounds crazy, but that's the truth. That's the truth. All right. So, you want to correct the problem? Start with the young ones. The fathers need to protect that womb of their daughters. The women that are not virgins need to be chaste. Let that womb close up, and then find a good man to open it back up so you can love again. Let's look at it. All right. Now, this is for the priests. This is not all of Israel. So don't get scared. Like, oh man, I've been divorced. No, don't. This is just for the Levite priests. The Levite priests, they like talk to the Most High, okay? All right. So you know what I'm saying? You got to come perfect with the Most High. You got to come correct. So for a priest, could you read that, please? And then I want to show y'all something real quick.
It says the woman he marries must be a virgin.
All right, who is that? Who is he? Who are we talking about?
Levitical priest.
These are the Levitical priests. These are the ones that give, like, there's the priest that's going into the holies of holies. All right, here we go.
He is not to marry a widow, a divorced woman, or one defiled by prostitution. He is to marry a virgin from his own people, so that he does not defile his offspring among his people. For I am the Lord who sanctifies him.
All right, so he has to marry. He can't marry no foreigners. All right, so let's look at this. I want y'all to look at this real quick. Now, this translation says prostitution, but it also, when you look it up in the Hebrew, it's talking about like harlots. It said harlots and stuff like that. So let's look at this. Look at this sword. All right, this part of her body is the heart. This is the heart. This right here is the penis that pierces the heart. I'm going to show you in a translation. Give me 1 second. I'm going to show you the piercing of the heart in the scriptures. All right. And this prostitute right here says, this one defiled. Let me show you what it translates to. Give me a second. Can you still see it?
Yes.
All right, let's look at this. Can you see the screen?
Yes, I can see the screen.
All right, let's look at. I'm gonna look at a married woman defiled by prostitution. What does that? Look at that word. What does that say? Right there. Definition. What does it say?
Pierced.
Pierced. You see the heart? You saw the sword, and it pierced the heart. Now, when I pierce that red heart, what's gonna happen to that heart?
Gonna bleed.
It's gonna bleed. A prostitute has been pierced so many times. What does it say? Upon the slain. You see that up there, Genesis? That's the same word. Slain. To be slain, to be killed. A woman that's a prostitute has been pierced so many times, she's dead. She's stabbed. She's dead. She's been pierced. She's just like a corpse. No feelings, no love, just dead. A dead being. But the Most High can resurrect the dead. All right. So you could get pierced by the sword, that sword, too many times. All right. So that word is pierced. Slain. It also says in the scriptures that when a woman is raped, the penalty, what is the penalty for rape, according to the scripture?
Death.
Death. Why is it death? Because what?
You murdered her.
Because it says it's like you murdered her. You pierced her. You killed her. She's not dead, but you pierced her. All right. That doesn't mean the Most High can't not resurrect. So women, be careful playing around, because you have the ability to hold what, two hearts in your body. The soul is like you ever felt that gut in your stomach? That's your soul in your stomach. That gut feeling.
Yes.
I think you might have two hearts. So be careful, because your sexual being is connected to emotions and the soul, and it's a lot going on. You can't do all that. Don't let these people around here think that you can do what men can do. You can get pierced too many times and you'll be dead. It is levels. It is levels. This is how it goes.
Yeah, we can't do what men do.
Yes. This is how it goes. And men shouldn't be piercing everybody with our sword. All right. This is how it goes. A woman get pierced too many times. Then she becomes, what it say? She becomes all right. She have many lovers. After she have many lovers, then she becomes bisexual. Then after that, she becomes lesbian. And then I don't know what's the next one. Yeah, it goes down like that. That's how it goes down. Prostitute. Yeah, it's levels like that. You get pierced too many times, you go into all different levels. And you will, become like a lesbian if you get pierced too many times. You ain't got no more feeling. That feeling that you have, that love, when your love is blind and you're stupid, that is a woman. Okay, not stupid, but good stupid, not a bad stupid. That is the one. That is good. That is good. You're supposed to dream and, oh, when is he coming home? That makes you a woman. You're not. If you get pierced too many times, then you're dead. You don't feel that anymore. You're dead. You need to be chased. You need to stop and be chased for years to bring that back. Um, Dang, I was gonna say something. I know we're gonna talk about polygamy, right? All right. So men, if you choose a woman that's dead, I mean, you might as well go choose a Negro. You might as well go choose a dude, because she gonna look at you. She gonna look at you like a dude. It's like you married, you got with a dude. The love ain't there.
Mm.
She wants your money, dollar. That's all. That's it. No love. Am I wrong though? I'm sorry. Am I wrong? I know I'm not a woman, so I might be wrong. I might be totally wrong. I'm not a woman.
Right, right. You're telling the truth. You're telling the truth. I mean,
Just
they
go. I'm sorry.
become numb, where they have so many different men in
Stuff
their
going on.
lives and things like that. So many men in their lives, they become numb. It's basically,
And that's not a
okay.
woman. A woman is not supposed to be numb. A woman, that's not a woman. That's not her nature. She's not supposed to be like that. She's supposed to be happy. All right. Feminine. So that is the problem. Now, if I'm scarred and I get pierced, what happens? Do I swell up?
Yeah, you just get a
I
little
swell
swollen.
up a little bit, right? Let me
You
stop.
get a
Let me
little
stop.
swollen.
Let me stop. Let me stop. All right, hold on, hold on.
Right,
All right,
what you
let's
trying
see.
to say?
No, I ain't trying to say that. That's crazy.
Oh, okay.
That's saying crazy stuff. I'm just saying crazy stuff. All right, so the Most High, not the Most High, the Shaitan is trying to make evil fair seeming. So he tells you. So he tells you he glorified whores on TV. He glorified all that's glorified when it's destroying you. And then if
Yep.
you a virgin, that's lame. Oh, you a lame? You a virgin? That's lame. That's lame. Oh, you chase girl? Why you trying to be chased? That's lame to be chased and a virgin. But a whore, you're cool. That's evil, fair seeming. He want to turn it around. He want to make evil good and good bad when it destroys you.
Yep.
So now we know how to correct ourselves. And if we want to be, not we, but if the sisters want to be wives, they know what the first step is. Chastity. Chastity. And if men want to choose good women, look for chastity. First thing you need to ask, hey, when last time you had sex? When the last time you had sex? Oh, I had sex 2 months ago. Okay, all right. I feel you. That won't open up to somebody else. Now, if you see somebody that's not chaste and you really love her, then you lock up in a house and be like, hey, we gonna talk for a whole year until that junk close back up. When it closed back up, then we can get together. If you like her that much, put her in the house and tell her you can't go. Nah, don't do that. Don't do that. Because somebody might do that and then IHOI will be in
Can't
jail,
get in
right?
trouble.
Yeah. With her permission, lock her up in the house with her
Well,
permission.
I
Give her
mean,
the key. Give her the key and say you gonna stay here for 2 years. I like you. You gonna stay for 2 years until that junk close up,
but
and then you're
basically,
gonna be mine. Go ahead,
yeah.
Chase.
I mean, basically, long story short, just not messing with anybody for those 2 years, including the man that
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said. You don't
Yeah.
mess with either. You can't mess with either. I
Right.
said, yeah, you can't mess with either. She need to close up and be a born again virgin, and then you have a good woman. You have a good woman. That love will come back, and she'll be all in your face. Now, a lot of people, I know the virgin girls, they'll bust out your windows, man. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. They're obsessed, call you every second. That's a good thing. That's a woman. That's what a woman supposed to do. They're supposed to bust out your window. All right. Let's see. Evil fair seeming. Let's talk about one more thing. Let me see if there's anything else on here. Okay, let's talk about one more thing. All right, can you go to Isaiah for me?
Yes. Can you give me 1 second?
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a good question. Let me see. That's a good question. Let me look at these questions while she's gone. Let's look at what's going on here. These were their wives all in one time. Okay, we talked about that. Orphans inheritance, good. All the same time, Habib. Okay, Abdullah said all the same time, so that's the answer. Good job. Thank you, brother. We can expect the system to measure up to the right hand possess. Also with the Hagar and the women. Yep, it's translated concubine. D. Okay, KK. No, therefore, if the man is married, woman that is an adultery, the right hand possessed. Yep, that's true. I marry a man is adultery is reported. Yes. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Yes, I want to say this. Good. Adultery is they are changing the definition of adultery, but adultery, according to the scriptures, is not is if a man is married and a man gets with a single woman, that's not adultery. If a woman comes in, that's not adultery. They're trying to make that adultery, but that's not. It's not adultery. But if a man go after a woman that's married, that's adultery. I want to make that clear because they're trying to change that definition, and that's not adultery. Because a woman, has rights. All right, let's go. Let me see. Hold on.
Okay.
What if you bleed when your virginity was taken but bleed later with the spousal blood covenant? Yeah, yes. Um, pain and bleeding is good if you're tight. It's good. I want to be tight. All right, that's chastity. Chastity. All right. Where was I going? Okay, Malachi. No, not Malachi. Isaiah 54:6.
You say Malachi 54:6?
No, let's go to Isaiah 54:6. We'll go to Malachi in a minute.
Okay.
Isaiah 54:6. Can you go there and share your screen?
Yes.
You're almost done. Not really, kind of.
Sure. Okay. You said Isaiah.
Yeah. While you do that, yeah, I mean it's hard for the brothers to get with the chase and the virgins. It's hard. They want the swollen women, right? They want to be swole. But if you want something long lasting, that's what you got to do.
Hmm.
Because the womb belongs to somebody else, she's not gonna respect you. Even if she say it belongs to you, no, it don't. Her body is not. No, it don't. 54:6.
Okay. 54:6. Oh, right.
Let's see if that. Let me see if that's the right one. Yeah, there we go. All right, now we're finna get into the dirty stuff. Here we go.
All right. It says, "For the Lord has called you back like a wife deserted and wounded in spirit,
Ooh, that bet you
like
that
the
means pierced. Go ahead.
like the rejected wife of one's youth," says your God.
All right, now the wife of your youth. Uh-oh. Most I don't play about that. He do not play about the wife of your youth. That's the cook. All right. Let's go to Malachi 2:14.
Okay,
Take
Malachi.
note of that. The wife of your youth. Take note of that. We're gonna talk more about that. The rejected wife of your youth. The wife
Malachi.
that you married when you was young, been with her for 30 years, and now it's like, hey, I want to get somebody else. I want to get somebody else. Hold on, don't read it yet. Now, the wife of your youth, you gotta respect. You gotta respect all the wives, but you really gotta respect the wife of your youth because the wife of your youth, those stretch marks that's on her, those are yours. Even if she gain weight, that's the wife of your youth. Those stretch marks are your battle marks. You can't just divorce her and no, that's your battle marks. That's you. Um, and men know that. That's why we had that the loyalty. We're supposed to have that loyalty to the wife of our youth because those are our scars. Whatever weight she gained is because of us.
Can, can I
Now
ask you?
let's go to Malachi. Go ahead.
Okay. Can I ask you something real quick about
Yes.
that? I'm gonna start sharing my screen for one quick second. I think and again, I don't want to sound like I'm taking anyone's side or anything like that. But I think one of the issues that maybe some of the brothers are having with the wife of the youth is that if the brother decides, okay, wife of my youth, I'm going to give another sister an opportunity or what have you, or, I'm going to marry someone else, and so on and so forth. And the wife of the youth is like, no, we're not doing it like that. We've been together for X amount of years, 30 years, however many, 20 years, however many years, and we ain't doing it like that. And if you do it like that, then I'm gone. And
Yeah,
so, it's almost kind of like there's a thin line
I know that's real bad.
between respecting the wife of your youth and being held hostage to the demands of the rights of the youth. Because one thing that we do know as women is that men are loyal, like almost kind of like men are like they're into sports and all of that kind of stuff. And a part of being in a sport is you're loyal to the team, that type of thing. You take one for the team, that kind of thing. And so my wondering is if some of the wives of the youth are using that knowledge and information and taking advantage of that. And what does a brother do in that situation when the wife of the youth says no, and you're not doing it like that. You're not marrying other women. You're just gonna be married to me.
Ooh. Ooh, that's a whew. That's very deep. That's very deep. That's very deep. That's very deep. I mean,
Because, and I'm
if
just gonna say this one more
if you
thing.
if you
I don't
but
because I mean, yeah, we got some brothers out there that are kind of do things the wrong way, but you also have some brothers out there who are like they're not saying, "Oh, this she got stretch marks, so I'm not feeling her like that. So I'm gonna just go out there and marry me someone else." No,
no
you
no no
may
no
have.
I know, but there are some men that's like stretch marks, man. I'm going on like raw like that. That's what the Quran. I mean, that's what the scriptures that we're reading is talking about. Some are rejected. Some are the rights of the youth are like totally rejected. I'm gonna get me a new one. They're just totally rejected. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
I'm not advocating for that.
Right.
I'm not saying that. I'm just talking about just regular, just average, regular brothers, good brothers, okay, who are saying, hey, I'd like to marry another wife, or I'd like to marry two more, three more, or four more, or five, or whatever the case.
Um if I was if I was the wife of the youth, I would use the tools of chastity, virginity. I would show him them scriptures and use that to find the best or make the woman the best woman that's coming in she can be.
Let me say this. Let me say something to that.
Go ahead.
Let me ask you this question: Is
Right.
that the wife's job to be matchmaker and saying who you will and won't marry and who you can and can't marry? Is that the wife's job?
Yes. It listen, let me finish. It is the wife's job to protect the house. If she see that he about to marry a prostitute, he got to protect she or a child molester. She has to protect her house now. That's her job to protect the house.
Yeah,
She can say, "Hey, have you asked about chastity? Have you?" I'm not matchmaker, but she could say, "Hey, she chaste?" Cause that's Quran. She could bring that iron on him now. She could say, "Hey, is she chaste?" Nah. When last time you asked about when last time she had sex? Nah, bro. Really? Okay, okay. I feel.
mm-hmm.
She can remind him of what Allah said. You know what I'm saying?
Right, absolutely. And I'm not saying that that's not needs to take. I'm not saying that. I'm what I'm saying is that um
It's his
after
decision.
after those questions have been asked, I mean, does there need to be more? Is there? What I'm saying is, at the end of the day, is it their job to be a matchmaker?
Not a matchmaker, but she can, like I said before, she can remind him of the scriptures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it ain't gonna work if it ain't done right by the scriptures. It's not gonna work. And it never worked. You understand what I'm saying? Or she could just sit back and watch how it don't work.
Hmm.
Because a lot of the polygamous situations in America don't work. Is that right? Nor Jihan?
Um. I think that many don't. I think that there are some that do. Um, in the Muslim community that do work. But I think it's because it's conducted in a certain way.
I want to say this real quick, so I will get this out. We know it is best to. I would, if I would start with marrying two by two. I mean, I would marry two at the same time. I said this before. I'm gonna say it on air to prevent the power struggle. Because if you've been married, if you're a woman and you're the woman of the youth, you've been married for 30 years, drop 6 kids, married for 30 years, been there when it was down and up, and then the second wife come in and just is on the same level. The first day on the same level. That is a little weird. What do you think about that, Noah?
How so? How's it weird?
You done put in work for 30 years, had this dude children, and a woman come in on the same level as you.
Let me ask you a question. If I'm a
Right.
corporation
Yes.
and I had a CEO,
Uh-huh.
and I decided I need to hire another CEO. Okay. But I'm not gonna fire the first CEO. The second CEO is going to be a CEO as well, and they're gonna work in conjunction, they're gonna work together.
Uh-huh.
All right. Now,
Correct.
as a corporation, am I supposed to put the new CEO to the wayside just to protect the first CEO's feelings?
Okay.
Or am I supposed to
That's
say, okay,
good.
current CEO, you've been running things for a while and you're still the CEO, but what I need for you to do, I need for you to help this new CEO show them the ropes so that the company can move forward in the right direction. Not
Now,
not CEO have private meetings with the board.
I got you. Hold
To,
on. Let me say this. This is good. This is good stuff. All right, let's say it is good stuff. Let's say you the first CEO and you help build the whole building with your hands. All right, you help build a whole building, and then the second CEO comes in and like just try to just straight take your spot. I mean,
well,
let's like disrespectful take your spot, like put a feet on the wall on the and
well, most
what if that happens? Then what?
well, most
And now
likely,
we got the conflict.
most likely, if we're talking about an organization, the first thing that's going to take place is the board made that decision that this is the best decision for the organization moving forward.
Okay.
So current CEO has to respect that decision. The second thing is usually a board is going to get, just like the board gave the first CEO golden parachute, the first CEO their own executive suite, own executive office, all the perks that go along with it. Usually the board is going to make sure that other CEO, they have something similar. They have their own executive suite. They'll have their, they've been promised a golden parachute. They've been given all of those things. So
Let's say the
you
first CEO. Let's say the first CEO didn't get those perks.
well, I mean, we're talking about, so now okay. So now
I know
we're
we
talking about a CEO here. Okay. So most
go ahead.
CEOs, that's common. That's common. Okay. I mean,
Okay.
that's, and even if it wasn't that case, then that can be renegotiated or whatever the case.
Right.
My point for using that analogy is this: that change, there's always discomfort. Like when you're on a job or whatever the situation may be, there's always discomfort when new coworkers come in. People are always thinking, oh, that new person is going to take my spot, or
Pause it.
I've
Pause
been
it.
trying.
Even pause it. Even like a new baby to the family, a new baby.
Yeah, if you look at from a children's standpoint,
Yeah,
children feel a certain way about newborns until they get used to the newborn.
yeah,
Um, but I think
that's true.
that we can't sometimes we can use verses to try to get things to work the way we want it to work. And my whole point for bringing up that with the women of the youth, the wife of the youth, is that we just have to be careful with
No, hold on, no,
not to
hold on, hold on,
use
hold on,
that
hold on.
verse.
The verse said that she was rejected.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying
That
you.
means no, you changed it. My perspective was the wife of the youth being totally rejected.
Hmm.
I didn't say that the wife of the youth denied polygyny. You said that. I
Right,
said she
I
was just
did.
totally rejected for just a totally knew she just was totally rejected. That's what I was
Right,
saying. I didn't go there. I didn't go there.
right. And the
But
reason why I brought that up is because a lot of times the wife of the youth, in that particular situation, they think that the rejection is occurring, but what they fail to realize is that rejection is not occurring.
that can happen. Yes.
I
Yes, you're
mean,
right.
in
I
that
agree. I
situation, and
agree.
you're not being rejected. You're
I
not
agree.
the same way as uh, if you're bringing a new baby into the household. You're not going to reject the other children that are already there. You may at that moment in time give the new baby a little bit more attention because the new baby needs more attention. The new baby is new. Well, I mean, even in Torah,
I agree.
what does
I
Torah
agree.
say about when you marry?
That is true. Good point.
What does the Torah tell us for
Good
for
point.
the
Good
marriage?
point. Good point. I think when they get like a they can't go to war, they be together for like a year or something like that. I have to look it up. But it's something in that area. Good point. Good point.
So you refrain from going away and refrain from you staying with that new wife for at least a year or for
Correct.
a year, right?
I think it is. It's sometime. It's
Okay,
we're in the ballpark. But yeah,
gotcha.
great point. Great point. All right,
Hmm.
let's do this wife of the youth real quick. Malachi 2:14. And I'm saying that she rejected. All right. I'm not talking about her not accepting the polygyny, but nor that was a great point.
I just
Can you
brought
share your
that.
screen?
Yes.
Malachi 2:14.
All right, Malachi
Oh, no.
2:14.
Great points. 2:14.
Okay. All right, here we go.
Hold on,
Yet you.
hold on.
Okay.
What else is here? We've been hold on. All right, here we go. 14.
Okay. It says, "Yet you ask why? It is because the Lord has been a witness between you and the wife of your youth, against whom you have broken faith, though she is your companion and your wife by covenant.
Keep going.
Has not the Lord made them one, having a portion of the Spirit? And why one? Because he seeks godly offspring. So guard yourselves in your spirit, and do not break faith with the wife of your youth. For I hate divorce, says the Lord, the God of Israel. He who divorces his wife covers his garment with violence, says the Lord of hosts. So guard yourselves in your spirit, and do not break faith."
Yes. So keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. The number one, what did it say? They say the number one thing that's like hated but halal is divorce. All right. Number one thing. So what I see in here is like the scripture, you know, telling the man not to just reject the wife or the wife of the youth.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Not to just totally reject her. This is from I'm speaking from the man rejecting perspective. That's what I'm
Right. And leaving them hanging.
yes, that's what that's how I'm speaking of. All right, can you go to so the purpose is because he seeks godly offspring. So that's the purpose
Hmm.
of this marriage to produce godly offspring. All right,
Hmm.
Proverbs 5:18 real quick,
Okay.
and then we'll just open it up.
Proverbs 5:18.
Yeah, let's go to 5:18 real quick.
All right. It says, "May your fountain be blessed, and may you rejoice in the wife of your youth. A loving doe, a graceful fawn. May her breast satisfy you always. May you be captivated by her love forever." Why
That's
be
good. That's good because it's gonna go into something else. I just wanted to put that on the record about the wife of the youth because I thought it was very interesting. And all right, no, what you want to talk about to end it off?
I mean, I guess you can answer. I think there's maybe some questions or comments in the chat, so we're not gonna address the issue of polygyny today.
We was talking about polygyny, right?
Oh, okay.
We
I thought
did.
you were
We
gonna
did, we
like
did
bring
talk
a
about any.
scripture.
We did talk about
Oh, okay.
polygyny.
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying, but
No,
anyhow,
we did talk about polygyny. Well, let's talk.
but you said you're gonna. I guess you can address the questions. And did you address the questions
Well,
in the
this is
chat?
this is part one.
Oh, okay. Part one.
Oh no, I think it's a bunch of statements. Embassy wouldn't sister not want to do themselves, the brother want to say, yep. Most men do it anyway. Well, line do. I don't know. I think jealousy plays a big part of this. No, it's just ain't exactly sister. Yeah, I think they just everybody's talking to each other. That's that. Well, that's good. They're talking. Yep, that's how some of them come trying to take over. Like all of them, they get jealous because they're right. Likewise, it is just about us talk. This is likewise, yeah, to clear on it. Okay. Okay.
And you know, uh,
Okay.
you
We're
know,
good. We're good. We're good. We're good. Okay. We're good. Question. Here we go. Everybody's good. Let's stay in here. We're good. All right. Can a brother get married and his wife not know he is? Ooh.
yes.
Yes. Yes. Ouch. But yes. No, do you want to expand on that?
Hmm?
You said yes. Do you want to expand on that?
You said
Can a brother get married and his wife not know he is? Go ahead, Noah. You said it first. You said yes.
I mean, okay. Let me just kind of step back for a second. We know what it means to get married, right? We know what marriage is based on what the scriptures say, right?
Correct.
And so in those scriptures and in those verses, there's nothing in those scriptures or those verses that say, oh, you need to go seek permission from this person or seek permission from that person. But you seek, if you're marrying a virgin, then you seek permission from the parent, from the father, and
From
then
the
you
father.
pay the father the bride gift, or what have you.
Right.
Um,
Or the right hand
or
possess
if
whoever's over the right hand possess. Go ahead.
right, or whoever's over the right hand possesses. Now, so short answer to the question would be no. Now, but with that being said, you know, as people live as African Americans, or living in the diaspora, sometimes we kind of gotta take a look at how folks in other countries are doing it. They've been doing it for thousands of years. Okay. And I mean, the goal of all of this is to have a family, to build a family unit here, and to build that kind of family unit. So going around and peeping around and sneaking around and things like that. I mean, there's nothing in the scriptures that tells us it's a sin or haram, but I don't know if that's necessarily the best way to do it. If we look at our grandfather Jacob, peace be upon him, um, and just look at his experience, look at his situation, for example. His wives, like, said, how we had ended up having a tribe, all 12, how all, the 12 tribes and so on and so forth, is because, one wife said, okay, go into, my maid servant and that type of thing. If we look at Sarah, peace be upon him, with, Ishmael, Sarah said, go into Hagar, that type of thing. So if the wives knew what was going on, it wasn't some type of secret type situation. But I just think that we just kind of got it. I hate to say it, but I just think we just kind of got to get over this mess, man. I mean, we got so much more issues and challenges that we have to face as a community, that we got to get through this, because the bottom line is, back in the 20s, back in the 30s, back in the 40s, back in the 50s, and all of that 60s, it was going on. Okay, that was a multiple plural marriage was going on. They just didn't call it that. But if you had a dad back in the 20s and 30s who had 2 families, 3 families, that's what it was. No, and none of the mothers got upset and kicked their husband to the curb. All of these types of things. I mean, we just got a lot going on that we got to worry about as a community. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. Now, I'm finna push the issue. No, you there?
Somebody said, Brother Abdullah Ibn Levi said, "Oh no, that's illegal."
I think you was talking. I think he said that close to the beginning when he was talking.
Oh, I said something that was illegal.
I don't know.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Like permission.
Mm-hmm.
I think she changed it. She said permission. Yeah, permission. It sounds like it sounds like
that's
you gotta bow down and please.
Yeah.
But she changed it to not permission.
Okay, just letting them know.
Like a courtesy.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not legal. It's not like legal like permission, but it's like, it'll be nice.
It's not a part of what makes it a solidified marriage, but it's good for the good of the family. Just like when, for example, when parents are having new children, when they're expecting, they go and they tell the children, oh yeah, guess what? We're gonna have another brother or sister.
Right.
So that, I mean, because the children won't be like hanging in limbo, like what's really going on? Like, why is mom's stomach getting bigger, or who is this new kid? Like,
Let me ask you something. If the man is afraid to tell his wife, isn't that a problem? That he don't feel comfortable enough to sit down and tell her? That's like some hostility there. Or what do you think about that?
I think that's
the wife should feel. I mean, the not the wife, but the husband should feel comfortable.
He should.
Telling the wife.
Me personally, I think that's a problem. This is my thing, okay? And I've been Muslim, a long time. What gets me is, as Muslims, we want to, and I'm not saying anybody in the room or I'm just saying in general, this is what my noticings, okay, is that we can accept certain things in Islam, but we can't accept other things in Islam. You follow me? Like, even the Quran says, and this isn't related to marriage or anything like this, but when it's talking about fighting, it says, the Quran says that you may hate a thing that is good for you, when it was referring to the believers going out and fighting, that type of thing. And and there's a place for there's a place for everything, even those things that we may not necessarily be comfortable with. And
Mm-hmm.
because Allah is the most gracious, the most merciful, and Allah knows the beginning, the middle, and the end. And like, let's just even look at back during the time when the war was breaking out with Bosnia, and all those families and those women were being left widows and
Yeah.
things of that nature. If we didn't have certain things in place, those women, especially in that part of the world, they could have been abused. They could have been sold into female into humans trafficking and things of that
Yeah.
nature. But what a lot of sisters, a lot of us don't know, because nobody made a big deal about it, is a lot of sisters from Turkey actually said, hey, told their husbands, hey, why don't you go and marry a sister from Bosnia?
See that?
No one made a big woo, woo, woo. I mean, it wasn't all this and that, but it was just like, this is just a matter of fact. It's just a matter of living in existence. Like, we can't just try to put things in boxes and pigeonholes. And the thing with it is even when we look at what's going on in our community, like, our brothers are being killed, um, prison. Many of them aren't Muslim, things of that nature. I mean, what do we expect is is going to happen to those sisters who can't get married?
Right.
What's supposed to happen to them? We just supposed to just say, well,
Right. Well, we got to wrap it up in a minute. Computer dying. I, what if the husband want to marry a disbeliever?
well, now we got the Quran that tells us who we're supposed to marry. Quran
Okay.
says marry believing men to believing women, and disbelieving men to disbelieving women. So we already got the book to tell us what's sound and what's legal and what's
Right.
not.
Right. So if we follow the book, we follow the scriptures, believers, chastity, chase, then we will be successful, correct?
And the last thing that I want to say before the computer dies,
Hold on. I
what,
said, did you answer my question? I
what you,
said, so if we follow what the scriptures say,
oh yes, absolutely,
we'll be successful. Go ahead. You
yes.
got it.
The last thing that I would like to point out, I want to address an elephant in the room with
Quickly
with
come off. It's about to die.
uh
Go ahead.
about to die. This whole, and I think you kind of addressed it with the whole right hand possessive thing. But I'm just gonna address it even further with the right. This whole issue, right, with the right hand possessive and brothers calling sisters concubines and all this other kind of stuff. Okay, that
You gotta hurry.
breeds problems. Now we talked about, we went over the verses and over the scriptures with what is a marriage, what constitutes a marriage, and how you marry people, and so on and so forth. But when we get into all of these things and calling them this and calling them that, and this, that, and the third, and so on and so forth, we even went into how that a woman can be recalculated and so on and so forth. When we go into all these other areas and calling them this and calling them that,
But
and
it,
so on
take,
and
it,
so
take,
forth,
it takes it takes discipline for them to be recalculated now.
it
So,
does. That's true. But to go and call believing women all of these things other than wife, how do you expect to build a family? How do you expect to build a family, a cohesive family, if people are being called all of these different things?
you gotta call them what they are, Nor.
So you got to call them what they are.
Yeah. If they're not that, then don't call them that.
Right, but didn't we say that a wife? Didn't we go over what a wife is?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. We're calling them what a wife is.
Okay. Cool.
We calling them a wife.
Yeah.
I'm talking about calling them right hand possessive if you decided to marry them. Why are we calling them right hand possessive? Why are we calling them concubines?
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I think that presents challenges.
We'll yeah, look, we can start. We can talk about that because it's gonna like die, and then you'll be like the only one on, and unless you want to keep going, because we'll start that for part two because it's about to die. My computer's about to die out.
Right. I think
So
that. Yes,
we can
sir.
start that up. We can talk about start that up for part two because we got a lot. We got a lot more information. That'll be good to start in the part two.
Yeah, I think that'll be good.
Yep. All right. No, you got any last words?
Nope. Good information.
All
And
right.
Assalamu alaikum to the room.
All right. Assalamu alaikum, Noah. Yeah. Thank you
Alaikum
so
salam
much.
wa rahmatullah.
All right. I hope you all enjoyed part one. We might have a part two because we got a lot of more information. Um, have a good Sabbath, and I will see you next week. And oh, I forgot. June the 4th. June the 4th is when we renew the covenant. So I'll probably be on June the 4th. Have a holy congregation, and probably be on before that. Because I'm thinking about doing my 10 nights around that time, or at least 1, 2, or 3 nights. I got to get my mind focused and disciplined to do 10 nights. All right. So thank you, Mr. Rashid. Slander or okay, let me put this up to end the saw. All right. That's pretty good. Alaikum salam. All right. Have a good day. Peace.